has your perception of him changed? I've been surprised at the volume. I don't think I've been surprised at the message. And my perception of Russ has not changed, and that's not because it was overly negative before. I think that this is pretty consistent in Russ's almost maniacal focus on winning and his belief that he not only is capable, but absolutely is driven to win at a level that's been higher of what they've achieved in Seattle the past 6 years. I think it's a reflection of what makes him great.
He doesn't settle. And as we've continued the discussion this morning, that is something that I will force myself to take into account when I am rolling my eyes at these comments that he makes. For me, the perception has changed in that I used to think all these people that had criticism for him, that had played with him, were out of their minds because I watched him play and I just said, this is one of the best quarterbacks that I can remember watching, most enjoyable quarterbacks that I can remember watching with his ability to escape. Yes, he frustrates you from time to time with the sacks that he takes, but he doesn't turn the football over a whole lot. But now all of a sudden I am seeing things through their lenses, through the eyes that maybe like Richard Sherman and Doug Baldwin that aren't the biggest fans of Russ the person. And it has changed things a little bit on that front, but I guess I'm more looking at the person than I am at the actual quarterback. And ultimately, how much does that really matter?
It's weird that we expect quarterbacks and acknowledge that quarterbacks are the most important people in a team, yet we don't like it when the quarterback acknowledges what we all recognize. The quarterback is the most important person in the team, but we kind of don't like it when the quarterback acts like the most important person on the team.
Put your name on it, though. You know, if you put your name on it...
His name's on it. You've said his name's on it.
I don't think it's
we
that
all know,
firmly on it, though.
No, man. We know where this is coming from. And he's said he's frustrated at getting hit too much. I think this is pretty clear. This is certainly more direct than all the guys who criticized Russell Wilson's personality have been.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I mean, it has been a unique blend of passive aggressiveness that we're talking about that has led to this entire, way that we perceive him and others.
And I don't think this is passive aggressive. I really don't. I think that this is more direct than most professional athletes that will get about it. I think he is. I think what we don't like, I think what rubs people the wrong way. What's the word legacy that you brought up? Like, he's talking about his legacy. We don't like athletes that talk about their legacy in general. We acknowledge that they're the most important. We don't like it when they say they're the most important.
I think for football it's a little different. No, it's more of a team game than basketball is. And you hear basketball players talk about their legacy from time to time too. I guess the comparison I'm making, I'm not a fan of LeBron at all. I've always rooted against him. And it's been largely due to the fact that he played on teams that were playing against my favorite teams growing up. But I do feel like LeBron signs whatever demands he wants. And I just feel like Russ is still doing this dance of trying to make everyone like him while he is making these asks. Don't you get that vibe too?
I think that he's not as concerned about people liking him right now because he's willing to make a public stink about what he wants. I think that he is knowingly sacrificing public approval right now because of what he wants from the team. And I think that people that are rubbed the wrong way or feel that that's the wrong way to go about things, it's because they acknowledge that the quarterback is the most important person on the team, but they don't want their quarterback to act that way, which I think is a little silly.
Oh, the way that you frame it sounds so hypocritical. It's
totally true, though. I mean, it is, and I'm as guilty of it as anyone. When Peyton Manning, after he gets sacked a bunch by the Pittsburgh Steelers defense in the 2005 playoffs, says, we obviously had some problems with protection, he gets killed for it. We don't like the quarterback that acknowledges those things. We want him to be the show up and make the donuts and do his job guy, but we all know how important that position is.
I guess I'm guilty of the Tom Brady comparison and holding people up to that Tom Brady standard. Because Brady, for what it's worth, has been different on this, at least as far as the things that he says publicly. And you've heard frustrations come out, but I mean, even when the frustrations came out, I think people were maybe skeptical of the frustrations, especially in the New England area. So maybe that's also something that's just changing too, period, as far as the way that we look and hear from quarterbacks.
Yeah, very, very much true. We could be seeing a new generation of guys that exercise power over the direction of their career.